Hello everyone and welcome back to Passion Sundays, the best way to end the week and start another. Our guest today specializes in turning toxic and dysfunctional work environments into high-performing ones. Leanne Faraday-Brash, thank you very much for being with us today.
Pleasure.
What an interesting specialty you've got. I mean, you really go into the mess and turn it into something good. That must take a lot of passion. Tell me a bit more.
It does take a lot of passion and you need to conserve your energy. But having had a premature baby at 25 who was very sleepy and boring, I decided I wanted to start with group work. And the first gig I was ever given was with drink drivers who had to do their courses in order to get their licenses back. And one day I vowed I would actually work with people who really wanted to be there. And I still do a lot of that. That's the high performing and elite. But then through a sliding doors moment quite a few years ago, I found myself right back at dysfunctional and toxic. And when you achieve a breakthrough and help people go from all of that pain, the lack of safety at work, the issues around grievances and the taking of management time and the high maintenance employee, and you are in the room when some sort of breakthrough takes place, it releases huge energy and productivity and potentially profit for the organization. And more importantly, helps them safeguard against reputational risk, which in a modern world of social media, we're only ever one click away from having to do scandal handle.
I see that. And how do you keep the passion going in environments like this? Because that sounds like a lot of drain for the energy. You got to go in and deal with things that are not working. And I know the mind finds it like a puzzle, but after a while, it might rub off on you.
Well, I think that's true. And I'm lucky in a way that I'm an organizational psychologist because I really try to practice what I preach. It's what I call green psychology. It's about energy conservation. And I know if I string together a number of days of mediation and investigation work or teams that are really stuck, and that's going to be my working week, then I have to make sure I mentally calibrate for the fact that I'm likely to be tired or drained. And what am I going to do to refresh me? But what I also look for is those pearls, those moments where you see the lights go on, or two people sitting in a mediation. Even when you're talking about it on the platform and you're looking at that sea of faces in the audience as a keynote speaker, and you see someone gulp, or you see tears come to somebody's eyes, or you see someone just breathe and relax, they've hit upon something that's going to be potentially momentous for them. And it's such a privilege when you're in the room when that happens.
I love that. And if you're talking about finding passion when times are tough, when is it that you feel I can't go on and this is too much for me? And what is it that really brings that down in you?
I think sometimes you wrestle with your own frustration and the ability to suspend judgment. Because you're looking at people sometimes who are so defended and they either think they have all the answers or they know they haven't got all the answers, but nothing and nobody is going to change things for them. And they really are, to use the clinical word to impress you, they're stuck.
Yeah.
They're really stuck. And it's like if I looked in the mirror and I actually took responsibility for my choices to be pessimistic or abrasive or cynical at work, then I wouldn't feel very good about myself. The easiest thing for them to do is, rather than make themselves feel terrible, which does feel yucky for people and destroys their self-esteem, they may project it onto other people and say, it's my manager that's doing this to me. It's my competitive, jealous peer who is frightened I'm going to get a promotion above them. It's my organization that says it's got all these wonderful values on the wall, on high quality paper behind perspex in the boardroom with the marble table, but they don't actually care about me. Because it's too hard for them to look in the mirror and say, I'm partly the cause of my mindset and I haven't professionally developed myself and I've pushed back against every change in the organization and I've made myself a prisoner and I've forgotten that I have any choices. So instead, I'm just going to think everyone else are miserable sods and why don't they cheer me up and make my life fantastic? Every now and then I get frustrated with that, and I know I do. I have to tap into that and say, come on, Leanne, suspend judgment, come out of judgment, and just say there are so many things that have happened to that person before they walked into the room that you are not responsible for, but they didn't necessarily choose for themselves either.
How do you help somebody like this? Because I know we're faced with a lot of people like this. I face a lot of people that are so lacking on passion, but I see the opportunity and I'm looking, I'm like, I really want to help them. How can you help them if they've already given up on themselves? And is there a way to do that also without you playing the God role, thinking that you can't change people that don't want to change?
Well, I think you've answered your own question, and I know you're the interviewer, but I think there needs to be respect for the fact that people's defense mechanisms are there for a reason.
Okay.
And that some people, if we actually start clawing away at that, and it's too much or it's too quick for them, they could actually crumble. So some people actually continue to keep going, and I'm not just talking about mental health issues, but continue to keep going as that unhappy camper who looks forward to coming to work to be miserable, because if they actually took stock and they actually had a mindset like yours or mine, you doing what you're doing and me doing what I'm doing, they would reach for that if they could. But unless there's sort of, as we say in psychology, the psychological contract to do that work with them, I think I have to have respect and just hope that maybe at some point in their lives, the right message will come along at the right time, in the right way, and they will hear it, because that's what we want for them. But not everyone knows how to reach for it as early as they might. And there are times in my life where I think, Leanne, you big fat hypocrite, you're having a really negative day today or a negative moment today, and you choose your own attitude and you've gotten yourself in a bit of a funk, or life gets in the way, as it can do. And we're all growing and learning all the time. But some people are scared of not being good enough. They're competing and comparing. So they're actually scared to put themselves out there in case they don't measure up with their own lofty expectations.
I see.
And it's tough being in their skin.
Well, I guess, as you said, we all do what we can for somebody, and we pave the way for the next person. And we might not be the person who changes their life, but we're definitely nudging them a step in the right direction at the right time.
There's always that potential.
There's always that potential. Leanne, this has been awesome. Thank you very much. I really love all the tips you've given.
Thank you. Thanks, Moustafa.
Passion. What do you think? I would really love to hear your opinion. If you found this useful, leave your comments on the blog below and do share it with your friends. And if you'd like more tools, tips, techniques, and exclusive interviews that I only share on my website, go to moustafa.com. And until next episode, live passionately.